It's been hailed the next great business frontier, and one the UAE, the Arab world's second largest economy, has had its eyes on for years.
It has actually become the center of gravity when it comes to trade and investment in Africa.
And it's easy to see why that's the case, the Financial Times listing the UAE as the second largest Middle East investor in Africa in 2018. The region's leading business hub, Dubai, is home to nearly 25,000 African companies with non-oil trade, according to Dubai Chamber of Commerce, reaching $50 billion in 2020.
The UAE has been very instrumental in building their general markets, like bringing China over here. So a lot of Africans come here rather than going to China.
There's no question about it. Africa represents the future for the UAE, which wants to align itself with some of the world's fastest growing economies. And that's partly thanks to the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which will unite 1.3 billion people in the world's largest economic bloc. And trade between the UAE and Africa is well positioned for the future, this partly thanks to ports operator DP World, which recently acquired Imperial Logistics, expanding its capacity across the continent, which just a few years ago was responsible for 10% of DP World's global revenue.
So depending on the needs of the customer, we are able to go back and provide unique solutions in Africa. So we're very excited about that.
And while DP World operates a growing number of ports in Africa, it's also signed a $1 billion MOU with Ethiopia, a landlocked country, to develop a logistics corridor, unlocking access to one of its ports in the Gulf of Aden.
Truly speaking, East Africa is part of the Middle East. We have common history. What should be done is to reintegrate more so that peoples in both regions could benefit out of that.
An event such as the All Africa Festival, attracting thousands of visitors, is helping to break down stereotypes about Africans in the Gulf. This at a time when a largely liberal visa regime, previously a huge incentive for people to come here, has tightened for Africans.
2021, we had 42% of the attendees were Middle Eastern, and I can say this year it was probably about 45%. So I think having that perception change as well is huge from a Gulf perspective.
Their mindset is completely different from the old Westerners. A mutual beneficial relationship. The little hiccups that we have now with the African countries, I'm sure we'll overcome that.
And that is something that could very much see Dubai's ties with Africa further strengthen in the years and decades ahead. Jim Stenman, CGTN, Dubai.